Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rolling Girls. Gonna do our top 5 moments again with Skyline.
Hello.
Yep, this episode 3 called the called I Want to Be a Hero, which kind of obviously tells you a little bit about the episode. It's kind of interesting.
hmm
And yep, so I'm just gonna jump right into it with my number 5 moment. Uh, Fuck yeah, robots, because there's a bunch of robots in the beginning. There was like this little, it wasn't a long scene, but maybe I think 2 minutes of these giant robots just beating the hell out of each other, and it, well, I was saying last week, I wanted to see more about that because in some of the backgrounds there are giant robots kind of just frozen in place. So I was like wondering what happened with all that. So I'm guessing maybe the Power Stones, altered all that where they could, humans could fight instead of robots. So I guess it tells you maybe the technology maybe didn't really get upgraded, but they went to something else instead of that. Maybe more magic instead of tech, I would say.
Probably, folks. You can take the mecha away from Foch, but you can't take Foch away from the mecha. That is very much true right there.
Yep. And I guess
Uh,
they're the legendary vigilante squad, so I hope you see more
so,
about them, but I don't think we will.
the show is it's still early days for the show, so we might have a resurgence of giant robots. Cross your fingers.
Right. And I guess with your top five, I mean, your fifth
All
moment.
right. Always Kamima. Tokyo is now basically the big crazy love baby that has been begat by Akihabara and pretty much a permanent Comiket. For those of you who don't know what Comiket is, it is the biannual, once in summer, once in winter, uh, comic book, doujinshi, manga, game, minorly anime marketplace where fan writers get together and peddle their wares. You've probably seen that in Ore Imo, and also they've had it featured in Genshiken Genshiken. We'll just call it that.
Hmm.
So that's all that Tokyo basically is right now. It's just one gigantic otaku scene.
Right, yeah, Bone Giant Convention, basically.
And it's pretty much dominated by the Comiket Convention Center, which is called Tokyo Big Sight. And that thing is bigger. It's bigger than it is in real life. And it's got like skyscrapers and towers on top of it.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I like that.
And, and just some preemptive news. I just read that come the 2020 Olympics, they're going to be hosting wrestling and like fencing and some other indoor sports there.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yeah. hmm
This is, I guess, one big giant convention hall for them.
It is.
Yeah. And my number four would be Everyone is Weird. I mean, the main girl kind of made a comment that when they're driving, that each girl has this little quirk to them. Like we do discover later, she can, I guess, talk to the birds somewhat, maybe animals. I'm not too sure about what she can do, but yeah, you learn about her. I guess she's like driving her little bike, and she's having pictures. It's like that's kind of dangerous, but she doesn't really know that. Uh, Yukina kind of, I guess, the way she was acting, a little like I forgot what she was doing, but yeah, she's a little weird too, and yeah,
She gets easily distracted and she just suddenly just doesn't know where she is anymore.
right. She has
And
the classic "I get lost easily" trope.
with narcolepsy, apparently, she just apparently just like, oh, wow, I'm just going to fall asleep at any given moment. And down she goes.
Right, yeah. Because they're at the beginning they're trying to follow her to Tokyo, and she's going off the wrong direction. She's like,
Going the wrong direction.
it's this way. Like, it's funny.
Remember, in the first episode, she just barely got to the helicopters to their headquarters.
Yeah. And then we have I, the tall, sports-looking girl. She, I guess, kind of scatterbrained and doesn't really think.
Uh,
Even this episode jumping into a fight without even really thinking about,
yeah,
you
she's the
know.
she's the boisterous bruiser without the bruiser part.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I would say so. What's your number four?
Thunder Road. Thunder Road, the meanest lowly ever. And by the way, her real name, as I mentioned, the district in Tokyo that is Otaku Central, Akihabara. Thunder Road's real name is Akihabara.
Wow,
Very
nice.
punny, isn't it?
That's great.
Very punty, isn't it? Now, I don't know if she ever really wanted the job of being a best when you get right down to it, because, yeah, we saw her like, be, big, loud, and proud and hunt down thieves and different stuff like that. But all she ever talked about after that point was stop doing the job. We've got enough people. They can do it. They can do all the things. And, if it wasn't for the fact that the bombers showed up, then she would have just she would have just scuttled off and just left everyone to their own devices. So I don't think she wanted to be a best to begin with. She
Right,
just
yeah.
wanted to be another, otaku figure collector.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I can see that. And also, it makes me wonder if maybe it wasn't really her in the beginning. Maybe she kind of inherited the title, and maybe it's not really what she's into.
Yeah, but since this is a two-parter, that remains to be seen. So I hope they do follow up on that next episode.
Right, yeah. For my number three would be almost the same thing. We had to meet Thunder Road. She's kind of interesting. Her design, like you said, she's just cosplay knight character, and very short. And they always, I put, bunch of people made comments here that she's maybe short but and cute, but I guess when she fights, she gets really into it. But yeah,
Hmm.
she's a weird character, and when I heard her voice, I was thinking I heard this voice somewhere before. I know I have, and I was looking
It
it up, and it's you know, Mikina Kanai from I guess Higurashi is the really biggest role she's ever done, I think, in my opinion.
Probably the
But
most recognizable. When I was looking on my anime list, she had like a dozen titles for some sort of kids show. Sore Ike. I mean, she has like 50 different entries for that. Melon Pana. She's known as a character by the name of Melon Bread.
right, and she's I guess Sadako from there, and a very distinctive voice. If you hear it, you probably be like, oh wait, I know her. It's kind of
And
interesting.
just looking it up, she was recently Worm Guilty in Twin Tails.
Right.
And, to mention my own guilt, much like another show I covered with Vosh recently, with Karen from Yuki Yuna, I thought it was Rie.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Yeah, well, lowly thing, it fits.
Yeah, I know she was in Yuri Berries this week. I think she was the little brother
Yes,
character.
she was.
So
Yes, she was.
yeah. So she's still around, but yeah, just hearing kind of I don't know. To me, I think she's kind of an old school actress for me for Thunder Road because I only know her from like Higurashi, and that's like an old series. And but yeah,
Yeah,
it's great to hear her. I guess do something different maybe. Maybe it's
yeah.
not kind of the same.
Her character was one of those characters, Satoko, that kind of you either liked her or she grated on your nerves.
Right? Yeah.
Well, she grated on your nerves during one scene because she was under a duress, shall we say.
Yeah. There was one spot I didn't mention in my notes, but there's a girl that they're kind of when they first enter Tokyo, she's wearing the I guess, ribbons in her hair, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's Gekkan Shoujo, and it's funny because Nozomi is that character from Gekkan, so
Yes,
I
she is.
I was like, huh, maybe this is a reference to that or just a joke. I don't know.
Yes, she is. Just add that I've looked that up forever. The band-aid across the nose.
Hmm.
You see that in some specific characters, and they always seem to be kind of very, very lackadaisical kind of characters and different things like that. So, the only one I really remember was at this point was Bahumet, not from the Bahumet you're thinking of, but from the Leviathan Lowly anime that was a couple years back.
Right? Yeah. I think
She had that
yeah.
band-aid across her nose.
I think that's usually like a sign of like someone who gets in a lot of fights but doesn't really, think twice about doing a fight again. Just
Yep,
kind of, I don't care if I get beat up, whatever.
yep.
What was your number three?
Number three, Chiaya is magic. Um, there was that neat moment at the very beginning to where she kind of touched her forehead and then touched the back of the digital display on her camera. And like she was showing like, what happened to her the previous day when she was like trying to talk to the birds sort of and all that. And it's like, wow, that's like in Harry Potter when Dumbledore, used his wand to pull out memories and put it in the pensieve.
Hmm.
That, and she kind of talks to birds and animals, kind of. We don't know exactly what's going on. It's probably imperfect communication at this point.
Right, and the side note I would throw to you as well. She kind of, when she speaks, it almost sounds like Chaika a little bit when she doesn't usually use a full sentence. Usually it's broken phrases here and there.
Yeah,
So I was
yep,
like, maybe she doesn't have very much, contact with people, or maybe she's just been alone all this time, or maybe she's not even from this world. Maybe a parallel universe. Who knows? This
maybe
series can
she's
do
a
whatever.
bird. Maybe she's a bird.
Maybe she's a bird. You never know.
I mean, wearing a gas mask. I mean, maybe I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's up with her at this point, but we'll follow her.
All right, definitely. Time for number two for me was I know Skyline talked about earlier, but Tokyo is full of cosplayers. That was kind of interesting.
A very specific kind of cosplayer.
Right? Yeah. Maybe like witches or thing like that. I can almost
Exactly.
tell that maybe that Tokyo may be more magic oriented, maybe like that, because I know Thunder Road like she's a knight, so maybe it's more like medieval kind of fantasy style. of
Yeah,
cosplay.
maybe it's that like specific month. Maybe that's like the one thing they're like, it's March, so therefore we're going to dress as magic people or witches or wizards or something like that, and when April comes around, we're going to be doing steampunk.
Right, yeah, it could be something like that.
Ooh, I hope that would be cool.
Yep. What was your number two?
Nozomi won't back down. I kind of like that attitude. Just she's there. She's volunteering to do Matcha Green's job to be a peacekeeper. She's completely inadequate for it. She doesn't have the strength. She doesn't have the power. She knows it, but she does the only thing she can, which is just to not give up and look for that stone on Chiaya's behalf.
Right, yeah, she's definitely going to be a great character. Just that
Yep.
the fact that she doesn't want to, even if she's someone she's met, she's going to help him. And I would
And much
say that's probably a bunch of Maka Green's influence. I would say.
Yeah, and much like Maka Green, when the chips are down, she has magical rainbow puke.
Yeah, pretty much. That's true.
I wonder if that's become a running gag in the show.
Right. Time for number one for me. The plot reveals Chaya at the end. I guess we learned that she's I guess the daughter of the I guess leader of the she's collecting all these stones because we
Yeah,
saw her. Yeah, she kind of opens this drawer and there's stones everywhere. Like she's got tons of them.
Yep.
So it makes you wonder like what's with these stones? Is she gonna be quote unquote the villain, which is as she collects all the stones, will she use them to get all this power? It might be something like the whole thing power corrupts and all that. So we might see that later on, but it might be just the thing she wants to collect them, maybe to get rid of them. Maybe she wants to
Um,
change everything.
the stone broker, if you will, that Thunder Road was dealing with, made it seem like they needed to get those things as quickly as possible for whatever reason. And they also mentioned the tidbit that to get someone who would be like a roving protector like Matcha Green, they kind of demanded that power in return. So it's got some sort of currency.
Right, yeah.
It's worth Kamima bucks. So it's got some sort of currency. It's necessary, but at the same time, it seems to be like she's trying to keep it out of the hands of people, um, that
Abuse it,
abuse
basically.
it,
Yeah, right.
abuse it. She took it away from Shigayu as well, who looks like she's going through some sort of like, you know, you know, uh, um, an addiction with that stone or something like that. She was pretty lost without it.
Right, and even like before then, when she was fighting, she had those flashbacks. She kind of forgot all that, so
Hmm.
maybe that's like a cost of using the stone. Maybe you have to lose some memories here and there to use it.
Yeah, and I mentioned that the highway on Skype, and he said something along the lines of the fact that it's got back kind of like to the warring states or the feuding states period and stuff like that. So maybe Chiaya's mom, the president of the Twin Towers Association, is trying to basically envision some sort of new future, and she needs the stones to do that, kind of like Oda Nobunaga.
Yeah, maybe like take world take over. She's just
Hmm.
gonna collect them and then yeah, so I can see that being the thing, and maybe the power corrupting her and becoming this ruthless leader instead of a kind-hearted leader that maybe she wants to be. But yeah, I can see that. She,
Necessary,
yeah,
not good, not evil, but necessary.
right, yeah, doing what has to be done at the cost of whatever just doesn't really.
Hmm.
So it could be interesting to see that. What was your number one?
Nozomi's dad is now having regrets about letting his daughter go.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of like one of the, well, off the top of my head, the last time I saw parents in anime, doing anything with their kids, that was Shinsekai Yori, and that was horrible. So we have a dad who's kind of like getting bummed out because he sent his daughter away, and he has no one to blame but himself. He thought, "Oh man, I'll get dad points or something like that if I let her go." It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I was saying closest for me is probably Clandid. After stories like that, when
Yeah.
Nagasaki goes away, her dad's kind of happy, but then he realizes, oh crap, whenever this is done.
Hmm.
And then when they do that thing with the baby and everything, he's just like, well, I knew this was gonna happen, but
Well, all that etche, it leads to something.
right. And so I guess overall, what did you think of like as the episode, like a core, I guess?
I liked it. It's a first of a two-parter or a multi-part story. So that they were taking up some threads from the previous couple of episodes and building on new threads to come into the next arc. And overall, I thought it was really good. It stuck to what it was doing well, being kind of loud, proud, goofy, and weird, and just You just got to sit back and enjoy it. You just got to let it be itself. You can't bring. This is one of those shows that I think if you just stop bringing expectations to it, I think you enjoy it more.
Yeah, there's shows that I do that with recently. I mean, not this, Alno Zero is kind of turned into that right now, where it's just I'm accepting it for what it is. I'm not really gonna
Hmm.
think too much about it. It's just gonna do what it has to do.
If you think too much about it, it's just going to tick you off.
Yeah, and Rolling
No,
Girls has that aspect as well.
yeah, I don't think if you think too much about Rolling Girls, it'll tick you off. It'll just kind of leave you like, huh?
Yeah, you'd be more confused than anything,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like the episode. It was fun meeting a new character, Thunder Road. I could see it becoming maybe an ally later on or a teammate. And I'm almost wondering
Oh,
that if maybe Norzimi as she helps these people, maybe they would realize that there are other people out in the world that aren't just looking for power. Maybe they can just join her. Maybe she's going to form this mob later on.
defeat will equal friendship in this case.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I see that.
That's a classic. That's always a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially with the stones, like the president looking for the stones. So it's obviously there's another story they gotta tell. And
Hmm.
Chihaya, like you said, there's this mystery. Don't know what she really is. If she's human, if she's not, what's her role? But yeah,
She's a bird.
yeah, either that or
I don't
either that or
know.
an alien. I mean, it could be anything. This series really has shown us, I guess, there's no limit to what they could do.
As long as she stays adorable, I'm fine with what she is.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's on my tablet homepage.
nice. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess see you guys next week
Oh,
for 4.
wait, before we go, so this is probably
Uh-huh.
something for comments for everyone down below. Did Thunder Road do anything wrong, and how wrong did she do it?
Right. Okay, well, see you guys next time for 4.
Later on.